up, guys? Jamie here, and welcome to episode 4 of No Turning Back 2.0. Sorry it's up so late. It's just we had other things to do today, and also this episode will be a lot shorter than normal because we're doing other things later tonight as well. And, it's Halloween. Happy Halloween to everybody out there. And all our social media links are down below. So follow us, like us, and we are going to talk about Hell in a Cell quickly, NXT very quickly, Undertaker. And before we get to that, don't forget to subscribe to us because we're awesome. And I am also back consistently uploading videos. So, as always, I'm here with my co-host. Would you like to say hi?
Man's reality in the house. Everybody, hi, what's going on? I'm just frantically trying to get the link onto Twitter for y'all to know that we're here. So, yeah. How's it going, everybody? Really crazy day today, but happy Halloween, everybody. Happy birthday to my buddy Jack, if he's watching. Actually born on Halloween. That would be kind of cool. I was always jealous of Christmas babies. It'd be really cool to actually be born on a holiday. I think that would be cool.
I guess double the presents. But
Yeah.
even though Halloween's not really a holiday, but it's still cool to have your birthday fall on something. But anyway, we are going to talk about Hell in a Cell first. And I actually thought this pay-per-view was pretty good. It wasn't really... there was only a few matches that were really hyped up. And I feel like the most important matches were like the first hour and the last hour. There was only like maybe one match that was in the like middle hour that was important. I'm only saying it like that because The Walking Dead was on during the middle hour, which is why I had to split up all the matches. But
Right.
But I've seen all the matches and everything. I just really, really wanted to see like the most important matches, like Cena's match and the 2 Hell in a Cell matches. Of course, Taker's match, which was at the end, and 1 Hell in a Cell match was actually really, really early. It was. I didn't think it would be the second match. I didn't think there would be back-to-back Hell in a Cell matches, but I didn't think it would be second. I thought it'd be more towards the end, which
Right.
when you and I were talking, we were kind of like trying to figure out the order so that way I wouldn't miss Hell in a Cell but wouldn't miss The Walking Dead at the same time.
Right.
I thought that during those 2 matches at the beginning, I thought, okay, in the first hour, I'm hoping it'll be the Divas match, no offense to Kevin Owens or anything, Kevin Owens match, the tag titles. Hopefully those will take up the whole hour. But the Kevin Owens match actually was like second to last, which I thought was pretty weird. But what were your overall thoughts on the pay-per-view?
Well, you just took my main lead out of my mouth. It was weird placement for the Intercontinental title match. By the way, link is out. Everybody retweet it, spread the word. We're here. We're doing a thing. But yeah, it was a very weird placement for Kevin Owens' match against Ryback. But the best match of the night, to nobody's surprise, was obviously Taker and Lesnar. So much blood.
Yes, blood. I was just about to mention that, but go ahead.
It was old school, no pun intended. But it was the old school Hell in the Cell type matches that we all love to watch. It was a really solid pay-per-view from beginning to end. I enjoyed it. It kept my attention the whole show, which is not always easy to do. And then, of course, the big shocker to kick it off, Alberto Del Rio was the guy that answered the U.S. Open Challenge and is now U.S. champion. So cool to see him back in WWE. Hopefully they utilize him right this time. And I think they've taken a step in the right direction by putting him with Zeb Culture, because promos were always his weak point. He's more of a stronger performer than a talker because English is his second language. So I like the choice, and I like the whole Mex America thing. It might get annoying after a period of time, but for right now, I like it, and I like what they're doing. So, yeah, kudos to WB on Hell in a Cell. I enjoyed it.
You know what I really like though is that was totally unexpected, and
Oh,
not trying
absolutely.
to like bash WWE because obviously like they do things that are obviously predictable, and also it's hard to do anything unpredictable because of technology and the internet and everything. But
Right.
like kudos for them for like keeping that so secretive. Not that it was, I mean, it was a cool return. It was not like Daniel Bryan was coming back or anything, but like I liked how it was unexpected. They didn't do Ziggler. They didn't do anybody we predicted. They did, Alberto Del Rio, and it was a nice change. But what I liked about Hell in a Cell was that it was actually a very, very good pay-per-view. And normally Hell in a Cell, not that it's awful, but as the past I guess couple of years, it hasn't really been that exciting. And obviously it was because we had two Hell in a Cell matches. We had Lesnar versus Taker, and I didn't think that it would be a good pay per view because they didn't really hype it up or do that great of a build.
Right.
But I thought the good matches were the two Hell in a Cell matches, and I thought I liked some of the placements on the card. Like for me, anyway, I liked how the important matches that I wanted to see, except for like one match, was on the first hour and the second hour, so I could see it because The Walking Dead was on. But anything, what else do you want? Yeah, the first and third hour, and then the only match. Not that it was my favorite match or anything, but I was hoping that the title match would be towards the end. That Kevin Owens would be in that hour instead of at the end. But regardless, it was okay. But
Yeah,
go ahead.
well,
Do you
there
want to mention
wasn't.
anything?
I just was gonna say there wasn't any surprises. I liked, the match between Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns. I thought that was a really solid match, and our prediction was right for who we thought was gonna be number one contender, which I guess we'll segue into here in just a second. But yeah, just a solid pay per view, not like a WrestleMania, like oh my god, you have to see this pay per view, but very solid pay per view, and it's not always easy for the guys and girls to do that because they're putting on so many shows now. So yeah, if you bought on the cell because, like Jamie said, it was just an okay build, see it because it's worth seeing.
It is. I was surprised at how well it actually was, and all the matches were pretty good. It's just some of the like couple of the placements were weird because I thought the World Heavyweight Championship match would be towards the end. I didn't think it would be in the middle. Like I thought that Kevin Owens would be where the world title match would be, not at the end. But
Right.
it is what it is, and regardless, they were all pretty good matches,
Yeah, that
especially the
was
two Hell in a Cell matches.
speaking of the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. Kane looked like he was about 10 years younger in that match. That was a good match.
For someone who's his age too, he did extremely well. Like I was just about to say, I mean, don't get me wrong, they both did really well. But for Kane being his age, he did really well in that Hell in a Cell. And you were even saying like that's hard to top because they were bringing out tables, they were bringing out other weapons, they were slamming each other against the Hell in a Cell, they were jumping, they were doing spots, they were great. I thought that was a great match. But
Yeah.
then Taker versus Lesnar, and they had blood, and for somebody who's 50 years old to take bumps like that still and to take blood, he did so well. I'm so proud of him. And I mean, obviously, Lesnar can do it because he can still do it. But for someone who's 50, he did really, really well. And I thought that
Yeah.
match, not being biased, was the best match on the card.
And the ending, we hoped anyway. We weren't sure because the topic for this episode was going to be where does Undertaker go now? Because we weren't 100% sure if we were going to see Taker at Survivor Series.
Yeah, actually pretty much thought, we won't see him until after the Rumble because at least that's what all the sites were saying. And I mean, it's hard to call something in a week because something in WWE can change literally 5 minutes before the match. So we were saying, should we save it for this should we were saying, should we talk about it last episode or should we save it until now? And just in a week, so much has already changed.
Right.
Like before, it was Taker we're not gonna see him for the rest of this year, and now we're gonna see him at Survivor Series. But go ahead and continue.
Well, no, I was just saying that we all hoped that Taker was going to be at Survivor Series because it's his 25 years of Undertaker. And when they named the pay per view after him, I thought, oh, well, he's just going to show up and salute the crowd or whatever. But then they shocked us a little bit. At least in my opinion, I was shocked. And Jamie just confirmed she was shocked. I mean, there may be plenty of other fans out there who saw it coming. But I was shocked to actually see a storyline set up because when the Wyatts took Taker out, that was really well done. And there's no other answer for it or no other reason for it rather than for Undertaker to answer is what I was trying to say. The challenge.
Yeah, so that means there's definitely got to be a match. Oh, sorry to interrupt you, but that's what also we forgot to mention about Hell in a Cell. I'm glad you brought that up. Is that then Bray Wyatt at the end, or the Wyatt family at the end coming out? That was totally unexpected too. Like I just thought, oh, after the match that would be it, but that's not the case. I'm not happy that that's what they did to Taker, but I'm happy because that means we're going to see him. But go ahead, continue.
Well, yeah, I mean, in my opinion, it was totally unexpected. When's the last time Undertaker was at Survivor Series, let alone in a traditional 5-on-5, or in this case it'll be 4-on-4 because then the Wyatt family would have to get another member, and 4 is convoluted anyway now. But it's going to be a 4-on-4 tag team match, kind of a traditional way that they used to do things at Survivor Series. Obviously, it's going to be Kane and Taker, but let's just go ahead and talk about this now because it just flows. Obviously, it's going to be Kane and Taker, but who do you think the other teammates are going to be on Team Taker?
I think it also would have to make sense. You just can't throw. Well, you could, and they've done that before, but you can't just throw random people in there. So it'd have to kind of make sense. So I guess Randy Orton, if he's not still hurt, and Dean, because they're the ones, that had involvement with the Wyatt family. The dream match probably would be Taker, Kane, Sting, and Daniel Bryan. But that's not happening. But so it'll probably be like Dean or Randy. Because, who else is on the roster? Or who else could possibly be in the match? I mean, anybody else, it would kind of be random, or it would be kind of just because it's Survivor Series and it's Undertaker's 25 years. But go ahead on who you think.
Well, you just actually took both of my picks. So,
and do you want to say anything else?
I don't know what else I could say about it that you didn't say. So obviously I would lean, if I'm booking, I would try to make the second match happen instead of the first, because I think people, and particularly with Dean Ambrose, are kind of tired of him involved with the Wyatts. But then where else do you put him? So it's just right.
But then also, who else would go in that match?
Yeah.
Who else is on the roster, or who else? Not offense to any of the other wrestlers, but who's on Undertaker's level? Not that Randy Orton is this amazing wrestler or anything, but those two make sense. But if you're gonna have anyone else, who really is on that level?
Right. Yeah, that's part of your problem, and then the other part is just like you said. Even though wrestling is completely scripted and a lot of times highly illogical, which infuriates us, which is why we can make videos about it and have fun with it, because they never make any sense half the time. But in this case, for something like this, because it is a legend, it is Undertaker, they have to make sense here. And I just don't, as you pointed out numerous times already, I just don't see who else would make sense in this spot.
Right. It has to make sense, and it has to be on Undertaker's level. You wouldn't just want to throw a Chavo Guerrero. Not that Chavo Guerrero is not good, but you know what I mean? Someone who's not as important. You just wouldn't just throw somebody in there. But at the same time, if you're going to have surprise people like a Sting or a Daniel Bryan, it also kind of has to make sense too. As much as I
Exactly.
would love to see that match, it kind of would be out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But Sting still hurt, so obviously not. Daniel Bryan hasn't been cleared, and
But has
this is
Daniel
kind of
Bryan?
random. But I wish they would have done the Shield versus Team Hell No, which was Taker, Kane, and Daniel Bryan. So it could kind of make sense for Daniel Bryan. But continue.
Well, I was going to say that we don't know what's going on with Daniel because I don't know if it's WWE just trying to throw us for a loop or if they really are sort of teasing him on the dirt sheets or if it's just all of us desperate to see Daniel back. It might be the last one. But we all keep
Or all
hearing,
three at once.
yeah, or all three at once. But we all keep hearing that Daniel could come back. All it would take is the WWE doctors clearing him because every other doctor cleared him. And then going into the U.S. Open Challenge, there was heavy rumors that he did get cleared, but obviously that was just a smokescreen for Del Rio. But did he get cleared? Can he come back at Survivor Series? That would be amazing if that's the case.
Right. Right.
But
I wish he would, because then that would add to it. But can we just talk about 25 years? I am so happy this whole this past month and this now next month will be all about the Undertaker, and we will celebrate the Undertaker at Survivor Series.
yeah, well,
25 years. Can you believe that?
no, I can't. But I just want to quickly apologize to all the watchers and listeners. My parents decided that they have to choose right now to sweep my floor outside my room, so it's probably very loud. But that one drawback to having a really strong mic is it literally picks up everything that someone does. So I apologize. But it's live and there's nothing we can do because we can't edit it. So continuing, I cannot believe that it's 25 years of Undertaker. I mean, that the Undertaker's been wrestling for a long time, but you don't really put it in numbers because you're just glad to see him when he's around. So to have it quantified and say, hey, this guy's been doing this for 25 years, and it's a side note, and it's not about him, but I just think it's a cool side note that both of our favorite wrestlers had their 25th anniversary this year. I just think
Yeah.
that's really really cool.
I mean, of course. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I just think that like the odds of us becoming best friends, and then our two favorite wrestlers were both entering into the business in the same year. I mean, it's just really cool to have happen. So,
Yeah, it is.
I just really I enjoy seeing Taker so much,
Me too.
and I'm loving everything about it. And I love you. You got to talk about that for people that don't know to go and find that. You sent me this awesome slideshow of the Divas paying tribute.
Oh yeah, I'm not gonna show you now. Maybe in another video. But the Divas are honoring the Undertaker by dressing in all black and everything, and it also goes along because it's Halloween today. But I think it's amazing how we're all honoring Undertaker. I'm amazed. I'm so happy that it's 25 days of the Undertaker. Like almost, you know how like there's 25 days of Christmas. Well, 25 days of the Undertaker, and I'm just so happy that we're seeing him. Counting the Mexico event that he was wrestling in, Undertaker, I think, will have wrestled like 5 times this year. That is so unheard of.
Right.
I'm just, and what other wrestler do you get actually having your whole pay-per-view just about you and celebrating your 25 years? Like,
No,
I'm so happy.
only Undertaker would get his own pay per view. Triple H, he's great, but he's not going to get his own pay per view.
No, not even Triple H gets his own pay-per-view.
Yeah, you can name anybody you want. Nobody's going to get their own pay per view unless your name is Undertaker or your DX back in the day. But that's already in the past.
Like last year, and obviously they're doing this because it's the 25th anniversary, but also I'm really happy that November 22nd actually falls on a Sunday this year, because obviously Survivor Series would always be on a Sunday because all pay-per-views are on a Sunday. But I'm happy that November 22nd is on a Sunday this year, because last year I don't really remember what day it was on, but it wasn't on a Sunday. And then this year it happens to be, and now we get to celebrate. And it's going to be amazing. And me and Raz are going to try to do a video together. I mean, everybody can join in about celebrating Undertaker's 25 years.
We did it. What was it? Last year or the year before? You try to make this a yearly thing.
Yeah.
Where you invite people to do clips and celebrate Undertaker at Survivor Series. But this year, it needs to be huge. So
yeah, because it'll be 25 years.
I don't know. Are you going to make another official announcement video, or should we?
Yes, I am on probably Tuesday or something. But you can talk about it right now if you want.
I was just gonna say when that video goes up, we'll have an email address set up for Jamie and all that. Just try to contribute to it. Just speak from the heart, because Undertaker is a once in a lifetime type of performer. We're never gonna see anybody like him ever again.
No, we won't. I'm not just saying that or being biased, but he is truly amazing. And I always do it every year. I always do a yearly thing with Survivor Series for The Undertaker. I'm pretty sure I did it last year, of celebrating every year, every milestone he's hit. So like last year it was 24 years. Obviously this year it's 25. And I also do for his birthday too. I celebrate his birthday. I post on all my social media links about his whatever year it happens to be. So last year it was 24 years. I posted on all my social media links. And then this year I'm going to do the same thing and a video. And for his birthday, I do that every year too. I post on everything and mention in a video as well. But go ahead, Raz.
I was just gonna say it was either last year or the year before. I know for sure that you did do it, because I was the one that helped you edit it at the time, because at the time you didn't have iMovie and you were still editing on Windows Movie Maker, which for anybody who knows anything about editing, that's a no. You don't use that program. That program is crap.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it is. Yeah. But before I guess we go on to the other topic, I think I mentioned it in a video last year for his 24th years that he's been wrestling in WWE. I did do a video of celebrating it was 23 years at the time. So I did do a video, but last year I posted on all my social media links celebrating his 24 years. I don't think I necessarily did a video, but every year I always post for his birthday and celebrating all the years that he's been in wrestling. So if I don't at least post a video, I'm posting on my social media about his birthday and his, years in wrestling. Always on November 22nd and on March 24th when he was born. But anyway, would you like to say anything, or would you like to move on?
Well, I just want to real quickly say, if you struggle finding words to put your feelings for The Undertaker down into a video, don't feel bad, because the last time I did it, I even struggled with it, and I'm not her. So it just says something about the impact of Undertaker and what he means to the business.
Yeah, so you could wear your favorite shirt of him or whatever you have. You could hold up signs. You could, share your favorite moments. You could either do. I'm gonna explain more of it on Tuesday than in this, but you could talk about Undertaker, what he means to you, your favorite moments from him. You could do posters saying "Thank you, Taker," or hold up a picture of him or whatever. But I'll talk about it more on Tuesday anyway. So would you like to move on?
Yeah, just very quickly, let's just talk about NXT. Not really eventful this week. It was a great match between Tyler Breeze and Samoa Joe. So if you haven't seen it, go and see it. It was a tremendous match. But obviously everything. Oh, and then there was the first ever, I should say, interview with James Storm following his debut last week. But obviously everything's leading toward this Wednesday at 8 o'clock on WWE Network for the title match between Apollo Crews and Finn Balor. I'm looking forward to that championship match. I think it's actually going to be a really strong match. Are you looking forward to seeing that?
Yes, I didn't really watch this past Wednesday, but like you said, a lot more is going to happen next week, so I'm looking forward to that. Do you want to talk about Raw? Because nothing really happened on Raw other than one thing. I was expecting like like, you know how after a big pay-per-view, Raw is normally pretty good. I wasn't expecting like a WrestleMania after Raw, but like I thought more was going to happen. I didn't think Lesnar was going to be out there or Taker was going to be out there, but I thought more would happen and we would find out more. But nothing really happened other than like one thing. But go ahead.
Right. I was just gonna say Roman Reigns is the number one contender. I like the way that they gave him the spot with like the little mini tournament. I thought that was kind of interesting. The thing that makes me wonder about this now though is we've said on this show before, and most competent I actually let me backtrack here because I don't want to offend anybody that might be a Sheamus fan. I will say most of us agree that Sheamus does not deserve the Money in the Bank briefcase simply because he doesn't get any reaction from the crowd. Like when he comes out, the crowd is basically dead. So
You
this
want
whole
some sort of reaction from the crowd, whether that's a boo or a cheer.
right. So what I think WWE is going to have to do here, and Sheamus fans aren't going to like it, but I think you're going to agree. And I didn't actually talk to you about this off the air because I wanted like a real, like genuine reaction to what I'm going to say here. I think with this whole Roman Reigns thing, I think Reigns has to win the title at Survivor Series because it's just time for a change. They've said that they want to segue into Triple H, Seth Rollins feud. You can't have Triple H going after the title when he's the COO. It makes no sense. So I
He
think
doesn't need it anyway.
right, he doesn't need it again. So I think that Roman Reigns has to win the championship, and then if you really want to keep Roman Reigns looking strong, maybe even have him go all the way to WrestleMania against John Cena, which is something we talked about off the air and we can save for another episode of the show in a video. But I think because of that, I think Sheamus has to be the only second guy to join Damian Sandow, and I guess John Cena, if you want to count that, but I don't really count that as a cash in because it was a warning, and then the Big Show was being stupid, and I don't really count that. But I think that Sheamus is going to join Damian Sandow in being the second guy to legitimately lose a cash in. I think he's going to try to cash in on Roman after Roman wins because Roman's going to go through a brutal match with Seth, and Roman will beat Sheamus. And that will get that whole Money in the Bank thing out of the way because otherwise it's just going to be hanging over whoever the champion is.
Yeah, there is no point.
Hanging over their head.
Yeah, there's really no point to Sheamus having that Money in the Bank anyway. I don't even know why he won it. No offense to Sheamus. But, like, he used to be like, you know, he would get some sort of reaction. Now no one honestly really cares about him at all.
Right.
I mean, it's kind of sad to see that, though, too.
Yeah. I think that it should have just been Roman with the Money in the Bank briefcase anyway, because everybody was like, well, they didn't give it to him because the crowd wasn't behind him yet. He needed a slower build. I agree. But all this stuff with Bray Wyatt still could have happened with him with the Money in the Bank briefcase.
But then I could have then if Sheamus never won it and Roman could have done it, he could have had all this time to build with the Money in the Bank, and then obviously it would set up Seth versus Roman, or he would cash in, win it, and then Seth can go on to feud with Triple H.
Exactly. I mean, they could have done everything they just did with Roman having the Money in the Bank briefcase and avoid Sheamus looking so weak.
I mean, that's what I was saying. Yeah. Instead of doing everything that they did, have Roman win, have him, you know, slowly build him to be really tough, then him cash and win on Seth, and then Seth can go on and feud with Triple H, which will be very interesting. And because when was the last time Triple H wrestled?
Against Sting at WrestleMania.
Oh, that was still a while ago, though. That was a while ago. But that'll be very nice to see Triple H wrestle again anyway. But go ahead.
I agree. But, you know, I just think it would have added more because they had to sort of remind people that Roman Reigns was cashed in on by Seth. Like Seth pinned Roman to win the title. So I think it would have just added more to the feud to have Roman Reigns use the Money in the Bank on Seth Rollins the way that Seth Rollins used Money in the Bank on him. Like it would have just made it better.
And then also, adding something else. Didn't Bray Wyatt cut a promo on Raw, or did I imagine that?
He did. He cut a promo explaining why they, took
Which
Taker.
was also the only interesting thing on Raw too. I like that.
Yeah, besides the whole Roman Reigns thing, I agree.
Yeah,
So,
those two things were the only interesting things on Raw.
and when you have a three, we've talked about this before ad nauseum. So I don't want to, drill it home too much and repeat ourselves too much because I gotta be, I gotta have something to do in an hour, and Jamie's on her way out, so we gotta wrap this up here. But I just think 3 hours is just too much for Raw. Pay per views is fine, but 3 hours for Raw is ridiculous. When you can only remember two things from your program every week, something is wrong there. Like seriously
Yeah.
wrong.
I mean, it's okay in special occasions or sometimes even after certain pay-per-views. There's a lot to, talk about and have on the show, but it's really exhausting sometimes. But I think we'll end it here. Comment down below on anything we talked about in this video. Read the description. And I know we say this every week, but definitely next week we will have somebody on No Turning Back. So,
Yes,
so anything else before
I
I end it?
no, I was just gonna say the guest is already booked. He wanted to be here this week, but he had other obligations as well for this week. So
All right. Bye. See you next week.
see ya. Bye everybody.
Goodbye.